This is London with Bitcoin Spark Open. Shout out to our VIP. This is London, former hedge fund owner, private, not SEC, not financial advice. Let's dig into the charts. In terms of the open, looking at Tesla going to open down just a bit. Taking a look at Tesla, we're looking at a drop on the open. We're looking in terms of NVDA, bam, action on that 3. Let's take a look at NVIDIA on the, where are we at on NVIDIA? That 5-minute is in play, cap line, and the specific lower specific standard deviation to the downside on the 5-minute. This is quick action right now. Our cap line has engaged on the 5-minute. You see this. We've got the 20 moving average rather on the 5-minute above. Some flash trades occurring between our cap line, pardon me, and the specific 20 moving average. Nice reinforcement if you played long. This is our long signal on NVIDIA. Nice trades. And let's take a look back at about a 0.36% move off our cap line on the 5-minute. That's an RSI stochastic and MACD equivalent. What's being pushed in terms of also cap line and 20 moving average on the 3-minute time frame has been in question. The specific target to the downside, bears are pushing, boom, just like that, bam, to the downside target on the 3-minute. Way to trade and get paid if you took the specific inclination that the market had pushed below the 20 moving average on NVIDIA to create the expectation that, bam, we would complete down to this specific lower target. That bottom side band, nicely done. The specific green buy line on that on the 3-minute would be in play. You see, it's quick action. This is why we are attracted to the open. It looks like Tesla is in kind of cruise control mode. 30-minute specific lower pro line is engaging along with the capital control line. Boom, here on the 30-minute. Nice pickup on that specific lower pro line, which engaged on Tesla for a pickup thus far. Nice action on NVIDIA. Guys, way to go, way to trade. Let's take a look at the specific hourly. Near perfection on the pickup. In terms of that 3-minute, a little bit, guys, a little bit, what would we say? A little bit cautious in digging too deeply too quickly in terms of your positions. Never overexposed. You understand, never overexposed. Always ready to double or triple down. In terms of your positions, don't make it hurt, especially this early in the morning, especially if you're in California or elsewhere. I want to shout out to our VIP. Looking at the specific pickup potential, and note the 5-minute candle set underneath the specific 20 moving average. Expectation to the downside. It played out nicely while we were hammered in. And just understand what I was speaking about very quickly would be the specific underneath, the action underneath that 20 moving average, which if you didn't see it live was very relevant in terms of the specifics. Bam, to that expectation. Let's say it created an expectation very quickly out of the starting gate for the bears to complete and push, bam, down to the specific lower band on that 3-minute time frame. Worked out perfectly. What else worked out on the 3-minute time frame that you can visually see here? I can turn on the specific labels here so that you can definitely see it. But yes, what we're looking at is boom right here. The 3-minute buy line picked up very nicely as of right now, max percentage to the upside. And yeah, that's sweet, guys. Nice move on NVIDIA. That's some cash real quickly. Look at this. You're at 3 minutes into the trading session. That's a 0.86% move. That is trading. That is nicely done. That's our fire and ice indicator. You're not going to beat it. I'll just tell you that. If you use it, you will preach into the choir, right? Remember on NVIDIA, the specific lower level could be in play. Orders are stacked at this lower level. Let's go ahead and look at that lower level pivot, double pivot trend line. That specific level is in play. Okay, there are orders stacked along this. Believe that we have, what is it? The specific Fed interest rate decision incoming tomorrow. And what did I not allow to steal the show this morning on open? Bitcoin. We have been able to trade it all night, no problem, in terms of Tesla, and we had a nice move on it. We'll cover it in just a moment. Looking at Tesla, pickup on the 30-minute. It's a nice pickup, guys. That 30-minute has been relevant quite a bit here. Looks like about a 1% move. Bam, nice hit on Tesla. Very, very nicely done. Looking at a beautiful recovery here to the upside. So when we see our specific buy lines engage, when they present opportunities like this on a quick out of the gate action play, we're 5 minutes into the trading day and you've had multiple levels of engagement. Let's take a look at the 4 hourly, our favorite. Some VIP, some will exclusively focus on the 4-hourly. I won't say the extent to which that is pervasive, but it is a commonality as you would look at the 4-hourly 20 moving average. Again, I'll remind you that there is a delay in terms of the specific broadcast that we have with YouTube. So to the extent that you're relying on my specific calls or play-by-play trading action, guys, what we would say just the technical action, you're going to be 8 to 10, maybe 12 seconds behind. So the important thing is to rewatch streams to definitely take advantage of the specifics in play as we would look at our technical tactic, what we would say, the trading tactics that we employ, they're not our own, okay? They belong to, for the most part, New York Institute of Finance. We've added some very nice calculatives to the mix. So to the extent that you're trading, I want you to trade and don't rely on a delayed stream to provide you with trades. Don't ever do that. Not here nor anywhere else. Looking at the specifics here, the specific top side target on that 3-minute on NVDA was nicely achieved, and bam, we are back down to the races. I like this type of price action. You know that. I like to involve capital quickly, all right, at a tight stop loss. I really enjoy the opportunity to flash trade like you've seen this morning. In terms of that capital control line, which we referenced, take a look at NVIDIA, that 4-hourly is nicely achieved here in terms of that capital control line, that RSI, stochastic, and MACD. Boom. As you back test that, I encourage you to take a look at the number of highly precise hits that are along that line that offer you an opportunity to definitely capitalize on the action in the market, about a 0.89% move to the downside. We would make assessments hereby in terms of what opportunities, or let's say what targets there are to the upside, what targets there are to the downside. The easiest way to look at a target to the upside, always cognizant as to whether or not we are below any specific flat bottom support. Pay attention. Are we below any specific flat bottom support? As we look at NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA pushing along this specific RSI MACD line right now. That's a level of interest, okay? Blue means yes, bulls are engaging. We would want to, I would say this, we would want to create, as you'll just see the bulls here pick up a bit of a, let's just see the level here, you're looking at about a 0.29, 0.3% move from this specific line of entry. Now, what I'm accustoming you to is a bit of a quicker dynamic, I hope, okay, in terms of a higher frequency level of consideration, in terms of your ability to engage with the market. This is not some slow trade group where we will relax and slow down. No, guys, when the volatility hits the market, you saw this morning, and if you didn't, please rewind, because you saw NVIDIA literally just screaming to the downside, upside, bam, bam. We had 2-3 trade opportunities, if not, guys, 4 to 5 trade opportunities within the first few seconds of open. That is ideally what I like to see. We need that volatility to be able to interact with the market. We can spend all day, you know this, we can spend all day on the market, or we can have, guys, we can spend a few minutes on the market, or we can have the market spend all day on us. It's the way that it boils down to. And if you trade a lot, you know what I'm saying. Now, it requires a great degree of proficiency for you to hit into the open. You know this. It requires a great degree of proficiency. I don't see that level of proficiency discussed anywhere in terms of what's required to truly engage in a market open. I don't see it anywhere, guys. Okay, I just don't. It's something that's very, very specifically. What would we say specifically? I don't want to get off topic because we have some volatility here, but it's something that's very specifically. I don't know that it's tightly guarded, but it's just a unique skill set. Let's agree it's a very unique skill set in terms of engaging with the market quickly. And to the extent that you can, to the extent that you recognize that, and again, I'll just reinforce this, that you can spend a few minutes on open in the market, or you can allow the market to spend all day long on you, right? So we categorize specific opportunities. Let me shout out to Venus. Venus, how are you? Good morning. Nice to see you in the chats. Venus, rocking and rolling. Love to see those trades, Venus. Way to go. And good morning to you, Venus. As we look at the specifics here, I just want to encourage you, if your skill set is not to where you can even really appreciate, let's say on NVIDIA or on Tesla, okay, and I just switched between NVIDIA to Tesla. If your skill set is not yet to the point where you can assess multi-time frames, this may look like too much information, right? I can clean it up, take some patterns off in terms of Tesla. But if you're not there, please watch some old streams. Please accustom yourself as to why a trader would need specifically 8 time frames up immediately. Why would you need 8 time frames up? Okay, how would you capitalize on your level of involvement, or how would you, what tactics would you deploy? How would you recognize trade opportunities right out of the starting gate? That is the, guys, that's the sounding gun. Bam, the gunfire goes off when the markets open. If you can't acclimate yourself to that level of volatility, if you can, I would say, develop the skill sets. Don't expect it to be easy, but the first and primary focus that you need to have is the ability to digest multiple time frames. You need to be able to digest multiple time frames, and immediately, boom, you need to be able to see the trades that are literally happening from the 3-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, hourly, 4-hourly, daily. We would go probably weekly. I would say monthly, though I do tuck the 5-minute down here and I have the monthly on a separate screen. So to the extent that this seems overwhelming, what just happened on your screen here? Some traders, and I liken this to flashcards, okay? If you're studying flashcards in the very beginning, imagine you have 8 flashcards here from different time frames. As you are watching, let's say as you go through flashcards, if you remember your days of studying, you will spend hours going through flashcards. Then you'll get to the point where it's literally programmed automatic. Without a doubt, you know that. So this is a situation you have the specific opportunities in front of you, okay, the multi-time frames. Now, if you know what you're looking at right now, there is not a random thing that has occurred on this market, the specific, and I'm just saying while I've been discussing this, the specifics, where was the trade? Top left, bottom right. What was the level of interaction? Boom. There you go. On the top left, bam. This is on Tesla. What was the level of interaction? Ba-boom. Could you miss it? If you haven't been through the cards, if you haven't looked at the specifics, also bottom right, that's 3-minute here. Okay, the bottom right. Did you see price, the candle action, interacting with the 20 moving average? Did you see it? Now, if you have your system set up, you can't miss it. So it may seem like, well, there's too much going on. There's just too much in play. You are going through flashcards, potentially kind of like the first time, right? High school senior, new information, college, etc. It may just take a while to acclimate, but you will be throwing down these time frames like no problem and able to assimilate the information very quickly. And this was a nice trade op. We call it a trade op just for brevity purposes, trade opportunity. Looking at a 0.5% move. Is it a huge move? No, but it traded directly on par. Boom. You couldn't miss it if you were looking for it. Another incoming round on that specific 3-minute. This is relatively higher frequency trading. You understand that. What hit on the 15-minute? Right? And the critique here would be, well, there's just too much going on. There's too many lines, all with a great degree and matter of relevance, without a doubt. We hit our top specific pro line. That pro line, we call it a pro line because it's built for pro traders. That's it. You guys know, former hedge fund owner, private, not SEC, not financial advice. Go to your broker. Hopefully you can help them. That's my goal. That should be your goal as well. If you deal with a lot of brokers, you probably understand the tongue and cheek. Taking a look at the specifics as we're seeing that specific level challenged here on the specific 3-minute for Tesla. Tesla was great out of the starting gate, and I'm starting to feel a little bit of the slowdown of the market, just a little bit of the drag after a nice pop, bam, into the markets early on, particularly for Tesla. If you didn't see the trade, rewind the tape and take a look. Now, what out of these specific time frames is the specific level of interest? What's the most relevant? Okay, as we have the weekly down here, we have the 3-minute, and let me realign these, the 3-minute, the 15-minute, 30-minute, hourly. So that's on the top. What is immediately in play? You can see what's immediately in play. You see it, guys, top right, boom, right? Also, 30-minute hit into what? You got it, okay? As we were to look at these specific time frames, just acclimate yourself to the multiplicity of time frames involved. What hit here? The capital control line. What kind of trade was it? Flash trade, boom, boom, right? Absolutely in line with the specific influence achieved by our lower pro line and that lower level standard deviation. You got it on NVIDIA. It's trading. These are nice takes in the market. So if you can acclimate yourself to the level of required proficiency in the execution of your trades in terms of the information you're able to assimilate in the market, from the market, can you digest this information? It may seem like, man, this is too intense. Well, I will agree. If you're not accustomed to it, it can be rather intense to think that you could have, should have, or are already guys, in a multiplicity of just around, if you would just call these guys that are flash trades, higher frequency trades in terms of in, out. Just there is a lot of interest. Some, I'm going to say, guys, top traders that I have not just been around. I won't go into, guys, I won't open up the war chest in terms of stories, but this is a different method of trading, but it can be relaxed. It can be unwound. When I say that the morning session, I say 15 minutes, first of all, this is where I love the market, just in a sweet spot, having offered multiple opportunities to get in and bam, go for a quick knockout, a good few punches in terms of the market. And then what? Well, then we can kind of unwind a little bit and work into the specific pattern dynamics in play. For instance, on Tesla, if we wanted to get into the mix on Tesla, what pattern dynamics might we be looking at let's say that we have been looking at? What pattern dynamics on NVIDIA are we looking at, right? Have we been looking at the last number of days? What's the number one thing that I want to look at? As we look at Bitcoin with a nice rebound, absolutely a nice rebound overnight. What did we run into? Bit of a flat top resistance, bulls curled up and over, and also on Bitcoin. And shout out to all of our VIP, nice trading. But looking at the specifics here, we had a little bit of a micro bull flag. Get used to seeing these overperform even when you can identify a micro bull flag. Move to the upside and a downward sloping channel. Also, a common pattern therewith would be a coil. So we had a coil and a bit of just a nice front running move on equities. Bitcoin, yet again, be reminded tomorrow is the specific Fed decision in terms of the interest rate. And I'll just remind you that in terms of your exposure, never overexpose until you can book for positive trades, period. Based upon what I've seen in the markets, okay, guys, I've been in finance for a number of years, guys. I don't want to state my age literally, but in terms of that, what I'll say is that as you look into 4 hourly on Tesla, trying to hold and re-engage on that 20 moving average, that's a nice spot right there with a lot of interest, right? Primary time frame, 4 hourly, 20 moving average, could push a bit. You understand it could push a bit as you're looking at that. Let's look at that daily. Let's look at the weekly. A lot of interest on the weekly, specific 20 moving average, obviously. As you walk into the specifics, as you see things slow down just a touch, okay? And you just saw that great action right on the open. I just want to encourage you to participate at a level that you're comfortable with until you get to the point, and rewatch today's stream, until you get to a point that you can literally book for positive trades anytime you want to. It's like asking for a cup of coffee and just taking a sip. It's not a big deal, guys, right? When you're at that level in terms of proficiency, then what I've seen be the most productive is at that point, and only at that point, would you even consider raising your specific level of exposure in the markets. I deal with people who are just beginning. I've dealt with people who are extremely sophisticated. What I will say is, whether or not you're learning to stack quarters into $1 or $250,000 into more millions of dollars, it is the same process in play. That is not tongue in cheek. That is not a quick tagline. That is the truth. So whichever side of the spectrum you find yourself on, please do not overexpose yourself or raise your level of interest until you can book for positive trades. And when you can book for positive trades anytime that you want to in the market, and it's not a guessing game with a float swing trade, quote unquote, a guessing game with a float swing trade with a nominal amount of money that you may not even care if it disappears, right? Versus a tactical engagement in the market where you have developed a tactical proficiency in being able to execute four of those specific type trades consecutively, consistently. At that point, you have a different level of command in the market. I will assure you, because I talk to the specific traders. who have that level of command in the market, and it's just a sweet thing. That is the goal. You will not be operating on a standard level of interaction with the market once you develop those proficiencies. So as we look at a little bit of a slowdown after a great start, great open in the market, you guys know it was a great open. Rewatch at the beginning. It was just good action. That's the type of action I would like to see you all get accustomed to, acclimated to, with the understanding some of you cannot quit a swing trade. I know that, okay? Your specific style on swing trades throughout the day is beautiful. Keep it up. Your specific pattern dynamic trades throughout the day or the week or the month is beautiful to the extent that you can have all three of these. The open, bam, flash trades going on. I'd say the swing trades throughout your days, throughout your weeks going on. Fantastic. And those larger entries, that's what makes it sweet, guys. If you were to look at NVDA, we're excited, guys, to have caught this specific move here. A lot of uncertainty in NVIDIA. This was a nice move to catch. The specific pour down yesterday, what we can say is to target, right, on NVIDIA. Put things in perspective. We're not all the 5-10 second trade crowd. This specific downside target was something that we projected into. Very nicely done. It took a while, okay? If you scheduled into shorts, really, that was a 2-week journey. So it doesn't all have to be done in a matter of seconds. In terms of just the framework, I just encourage you to try and synthesize the best overall ball game that you can. Let me say shout out to Scotland. Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you in the chat, and hope to see some additional charts from you. These are the type of days that I like to see. Immediate trade opportunities early on, and what do we get to do? We get to sign out, we get to go in the back, we get to trade, and we get to talk about some additional chart patterning. We get to talk about some different trade ops, right? Trade opportunities. Careful on this NVIDIA. I have to say careful because we're down and below that primary level of support from the resistance, parallel carry down. So to the extent that we are a bit compromised, guys, we have this catch line below from another specific, this pattern's been bothering us, okay? The specific level of support, we almost should blame it on ourselves. We caught this pivot, didn't we? We certainly did. We may need to blame this on ourselves and anyone else who participated here on this pivot, which went for over 25% estimate there. In terms of this preceding pivot here, the dynamics that we chose to engage at here created the following on NVIDIA. This is the macro chart, and to some extent, we have to say, did we compromise? In terms of this pickup, we all wanted it. Bam, we nailed that specific pickup on NVIDIA. What did we do? Well, we created, due to the specific preceding pivot to the left and pivot here, we created a dynamic of a level of resistance here. Dang it. So we may be responsible a bit for the re-hit, just the specific here in terms of this maximum. For you swing traders, you understand the specifics involved of, well, we have to return to this level of support. So to the extent that, this is one of the things you'll start to look at as you gain additional trading proficiency is, okay, I want this trade now. Is this going to be a good pickup or not if we get the trade that we want? Pay attention, right? It's an exciting way to look at the market, more of a sophisticated way to look at the market. With that said, we are a bit compromised, just a bit compromised on NVIDIA. Work that into your trade rationale and your overall tactical approach. This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. In terms of the trading opportunities, we're just excited to continue to see them. I'm excited to continue to see your specific skill sets developed as they have thus far, and we will continue. Guys, the 4 hourly nicely engaged on the cap line on NVIDIA. We will continue to trade in the back now as the 4 hourly is pushing a bit here. Remember, we talked about the specific lower gap potential fill down and below on Tesla. Just remind yourself that 3-minute cap line. Look at the specific entry here in a long 3-minute cap line. Looks just positive, hitting a fire sale line, right? I would go there after the to the 5-minute on the specifics here, as we were to gauge additional downside targets. It's not a point and shoot trade club. You know that after spending time with me. I do not want to point and shoot and say, hey, everyone gets to go short here, or everyone, hey, is engaging here. I will encourage you to trade quickly, trade within your specific within your specific capacities as a trader, and we will be in the back. We will be trading. Congratulations to all the VIP who are trading. We will also line this out just quickly before we go in terms of the specifics here. We have a few different patterns in play. Let's take a look at on Tesla. Before we do go, a bit of a topping formation. It wants to round a bit into whether or not we look at this as a top, head and shoulders. A bit frustrated on the actual lines there on the hourly. What we're looking at is just a topping formation, which we had lined out yesterday, which is just tough for the specifics. I say tough for the bulls here on Tesla. And as we were to line this out, lower time frames will give you a higher, higher amplitude of the specific topping formation, which will mean what? That you have more aggressive downside targets, without a doubt. So I never try and convince a bull to be a bear or a bear to be a bull. It just doesn't, it's not in the vocabulary. It doesn't work out well. So to the extent that you find yourselves on the appropriate side of that fence, that you've been pushing for downside targets on Tesla, congratulations. In terms of the topping formation, we are seeing that play out nicely, and it looks like on the, I want to go to the 5-minute in terms of these specifics, yeah, because the 5-minute shows the bit of frustration, and this specific level that we dealt with yesterday, you'll just see the attempt to recover into such, and we can kind of get a leveled approach here of this break on that angled line, which was something I wanted to try and highlight. Let's take a look as we were to really consider such in terms of the potential for a bull flag. It looks like we had the potential for a bull flag after a nice move up, but you can see that specific head and shoulders that is engaging with downside targets, right? So rewind if you need to the specific open today. Note that we have targets to the downside on Tesla. They are engaging. Our 50% is our sweet spot with the maximum, kind of the extreme there, the maximum specific target to the downside. We're going to call that right now on the specific 5-minute chart. You're looking at a downside, and I will say we have a differential. We might as well just state the obvious. We have a differential here. Tesla does this frequently, but what's the differential on this pattern on Tesla? We have a specific topping formation, right? Technically Adam and Eve pattern. Here we also have the specifics for an irregular, right? An irregular, pay attention, head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. What does that mean? Well, on the topping formation, we would have these specific targets. Please pay attention. The specific targets drawn to the specific flat top bottom threshold of that central pivot. However, on this irregular head and shoulders on Tesla, we'd actually bring this down to the point of breakout. Here we go, point of breakout of this neckline. There we go. So we've got a differentiated attempt to pick up on this 23.6 right now, okay, which is a target in and of itself based upon the specific head and shoulders pattern with the specific left shoulder. You guys got it, right? Left shoulder, head, and right shoulder. To the extent that you find yourself in a variety of patterns with conflict instead of confirmation, you need to note such. That's it. Always take a look at your overriding indicators. Looking at specifically Bitcoin, let's just take a quick look at the level of trajectory to the downside. Nicely done. The pickup yesterday that we had, the 23.6 in the back for VIP. Congratulations to everyone who traded this specific move. We just went with straight Fibonacci's just to see how we're going to do with those, and bam, as we get into them, we don't need them per se, but looking at that, a 2.61% move to the upside. Got an indication that we were above a flat bottom, or a flat top resistance. So this was an indication to me that we were above a flat top resistance. Pay attention if you have targets to the upside. That same indication came on yesterday here. What did that mean? Well, we had some flat top action. Remember, those return to functions can be commonly seen in the market. It's not a guarantee, but commonly seen in the markets. Absolutely. So Bitcoin showing up strong 2 days in a row. That is noted in terms of that volatility we're looking for. We're excited about the rest of, guys, are we past summer? The rest of the year, let's dig into it. This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. Way to hit that price action today. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.